Hi everybody, Rachel here from Rachthestamper.com, and today I want to show you a card that was inspired by a card that Kelly Atkinson did, and it is so adorably cute. It's using the Swirly Frames stamp set. I didn't really finish all of it yet, so I'm going to kind of show you what I did, and then we're going to assemble one. But my card today really is actually just a tip for using a maybe a die that you might want to use on a layer. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually layer over it with our stamp set. So we're going to save a lot of paper in the process. So you can use the Happy Birthday Thinlits die. And then if you don't have that, another fun one that you'll be able to use will be the Sunshine Wishes. And you could use the Congrats if you had maybe a birthday card. Or you could absolutely you can make this into just a fun inspirational card. You could do Sunshine or Love or Hope. And then one other one I got that I thought would be really fun to do as well. You could use the Celebrate You Thinlits, and you could do Celebrate You. You could do those in two of the card colors that we did here. So I did a couple different ones with these. These I did with Mango Melody, Poppy Parade, Gorgeous Grape, and Granny Apple Green. But then I did a couple other ones kind of more with a little bit of a primary color feel, and these were using the current in colors. So this is Call Me Clover, Pineapple Punch, Lovely Lipstick, and Blueberry Bushel. And then I just did a couple different ones. I kind of just fooled around with the shape. So I have a couple of different cards to play with today. If you haven't seen the Swirly Frames stamp set, it is in the annual catalog and it's really, really fun. Lots of outside the box stuff to do. Another card that I created that I will make an attempt to link back to when I put the blog post up is someone had used the stamp set to make a camera card out of, which was super duper cool, but I didn't have the stamp set at the time, so I ended up doing it with punches. But they did one with the Swirly Frames and they made a camera, so the circle outlined the lens and then the zoom. Really, really neat idea. And then one final idea, if you weren't going for something maybe that necessarily had words in it, so if you kind of wanted it to have like a regular stamp sentiment, the other thing that I thought you could do is you could use the Dragonfly Thinlits, because these are really, really pretty, and you could cut this out in one of the colors. You could cut that out in Gorgeous Grape or Lovely Lipstick. So that might be one that I make with the other card, and then you could use the little trail of dragonflies or the bumblebee. So we're going to do the Happy Birthday today, and then what I'll do is when I finish up the other three cards, so we're going to use this one for a Happy Birthday. When I finish up the other three cards, I'll make these using the different stamp sets so you can get just a couple different ideas. So what we're going to do is I went ahead and trimmed this down, so this is 3 3/4 by 5. And then what we're going to do is I also I did cut an additional layer because my card base is going to be basic black. So I did cut an additional layer for the inside. So we'll lay that on the inside. And then I cut a layer. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to put this layer onto this. And we're going to put this onto the black. I also have a couple different options to basically delineate the card. You could put a little strip that you might have trimmed from your Gorgeous Grape paper. Another fun idea would be, I believe this is in the clearance racks right now, if I'm not mistaken. This is the silver natural trim. You could lay this on top. It'll fit right on there, and that'll layer really pretty. And then yet another idea is the mini striped ribbon, and this is actually in Gorgeous Grape, so we could do that one instead if we wanted to add just the striped ribbon there. So I will, again, we'll finish one of these cards one way, and then I'll do the other ones a different way, just so you can see what they look like. So this is going to be our inside panel. This is our extra white inside panel, which we're going to finish. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually cut the Happy Birthday out of this piece underneath. That way this will cover it, and then you're saving a whole piece of paper. Only one thing I'm going to do first is I do want to make sure when you use these dies, a lot of times you'll get a little teeny piece of something that will get stuck in there. So you want to make sure that your die is clean, because it does make it cut a little bit better that way. And then one other thing, you can do this two different ways. You can either use your fine tip glue pen to adhere this, or another great idea, and if you don't have this, I highly suggest you getting some, is to use some Sizzix adhesive sheets. And then what you can do is, and these, Stampin' Up does carry these. They went away for a while, apparently, and then they came back again. So I'm going to show you. I have like some little scrappy pieces that you can put in. I always do save these because you can use these for little thin sentiments, like, for example, the ones in the Celebrate You. But what you're going to do is you just pull one of these out, And we're not going to use the whole piece because we don't really need to, but it will also kind of help us to adhere our panel to the back. So I'm going to take and cut just a small piece, and I'm going to put it into the middle of my card. So if my card, if this is going to be, I'm going to say this is going to be about this big, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim out a piece just with my scissors. And I'm going to trim out a piece that will cover the happy birthday, because it doesn't really need to cover the whole thing. There you go. And then I'll just put this back in. That way, when I peel this off, it'll be ready to be able to be adhered without any problem whatsoever. So the only thing is, when you do cut these away, you do have to make sure you can get your little tab off, because they do have a peel tab. Oh goodness, on the other side of the paper. There it is. All right, so when you peel away the release paper, the Sizzix that has the printing is the actual release paper, so the sticky is on this. So I'm gonna set this, I'm gonna flip it over. I'm just gonna set this right on here, pretty much in the center. That way I'm kind of creating a little bit of a window where I'm gonna put my happy birthday. And let me move these over, throw this away, and I'm gonna show you exactly what we're gonna do. So I have my big shot, and I'm gonna just grab my regular, so I have my regular platform. I have my thin die adapter, and then I'm just gonna grab my 2 cutting plates. So I'm gonna put those down, just like so. Put this in here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this so it's gonna be lined up like this, because it doesn't really matter which direction it goes. You do want it to say, oh, nope, see, I'm fibbing there. You do want to make sure, because if you cut it this way, the happy birthday is going to be backwards. And then when it sticks, you're going to stick it on there backwards. So you do want to put this on here, kind of just eyeballing where you're lining it up, pretty much in the center. And I'm going to actually put it so the die is underneath. And the, oh, sorry about the washer there. And the paper is facing up. I'm going to just add my other cutting plate, and I'm going to crank it through. And it should be in the center, but like I said, with this panel, since we're layering it, it doesn't have to be exactly in the center. So, and you can see, really pretty much considering we did get most of it on there. So let me just move this out of the way, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So you have your happy birthday, so you can kind of just bust this out. Now this will still be able to be used for your layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put this here so I can eyeball, and you can see lines up exactly, okay? And then in the meantime, I'm going to just pop this out. So if you have your, take your pick tool, you can use this. You could use your die brush that Stampin' Up carries as well, but these pop out way, way easy when you use that adhesive sheet, which is kind of another bonus to using it, because you can get all of your little pieces out so simply. One there, okay. Okay, so then all we're gonna do, we're gonna move this over. We are gonna have to decide what we wanna do with our card first, so I'm gonna do that first. So what I'm gonna do, I thought this would be fun, is I'm gonna put this piece down, and then I'm going to put a piece of the silver natural trim ribbon on top. And so I'm going to do that first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this actually with Tombow liquid glue. That way I have a little bit of wiggle room if I need to move it. Oh, I think this one is empty. I need to really just throw that one away. So I'm going to put this just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to lay this on top, kind of so it lines up in the middle. But the cool part about the Tombow is it gives you that flexibility to be able to adjust it if you need to. Need a little bit more down here, because this is going to need to wrap. And I probably could have trimmed it first, but you just lay that right on there. Okay. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little strip, just so I know exactly where this is going to go, right here. Doesn't have to be that big, probably. And then same thing again, so I'm going to take my little strip and I'm going to lay this on top, just like that. You can move it up a little bit if you want, but basically it's kind of just like a little delineation between the two. And now I'm going to actually take my scissor, peel this back because I'm going to wrap this around. I'm going to trim this right to the edge. And then this part will go around the back. And I'm going to do the same on this side. So I'm just going to peel it back just a little, just so I can see that line. Cut. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this around the back. So I'm going to just put a little bit of adhesive here. Doesn't have to go all the way. We can certainly trim this off. But since I'm just for saving cutting, I'll just put this like that, wrap it around. And I'm going to give this one a little trim on this side. Oh, that's why you don't want to use your scissors when you're cutting gluey things. Wrap that around the back. So then that lines up just perfectly, just like that, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, and again, I'm going to do this just so I can move it around a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow, and I'm going to go into all these little crazy spots here, just so it sticks nicely. But again, just kind of minding that you have that inside panel there that's open. So I'm going to lay this right on top. Just like that. All right, so then we have that little delineation, really fun the way it's covered up. And then what I'm going to do, so just to add a little bit of pop, if I can remember, I feel like I put them away, and I did. It's a miracle. So instead, I'm going to use my my strips. So these are just the foam strips. These are great for making shaker cards, but also if you can't find your dimensionals. So I'm going to just lay this right here. I'm going to put one on the side. Oops, I missed a little piece there. Put one on this side. And this stuff's pretty good because you can actually just tear it and it'll come off. I do want to put a little bit in the middle as well. So I'm going to put one over here. And then one kind of just across to hold the center up. And I'm going to use this little bit over here since I prematurely ripped this one off right there. All right, so then I'm going to just pull the backing off of this. This one's getting a little squirrely, so I'm going to trim this off. Okay, so I'm going to just pull the backing off of all of these. And you can certainly wait if you want to put your happy birthday on first. That absolutely works as well. I now have gluey and sticky fingers. Fun times for everybody. And I think I have one more little one here. Nope, this one broke. I'm telling you, this is a banner day for me with adhesives. Okay, there we go. So then what we're going to do is we're going to just lay this in the correct direction onto our card base, just like that. Okay? All right, perfect. I probably should have folded this and scored it first, but we'll do that now. Okay, so there is our card base. All right, so that was fairly simple. Now, the only other thing we're going to do is we're going to add our happy birthday, which is really simple because all you have to do for this is we're going to just pop this out. One little piece usually will help it to pull out. So we have our happy birthday, and then all we're going to do is just peel the release paper off. It comes off so simply. And then we're going to add our happy birthday. And you can even kind of shape it if you want it to be a certain way. Put it on there exactly like you like it. Another fun thing you could do too, if you wanted to do more than one, was you could do a black and a purple, and you could kind of layer them together. But how sweet is that card? Is that not the cutest? And then the other thing you can do is you can add, and I believe I just reorganized my craft room, so my apologies. Oh. Well, I don't know where my son put them, but you could add, this would be super fun. And if you do have little spots, so if you have one little spot, you definitely make sure you press this down. That way that adhesive will stick. But if you don't, you could always put a little bit of fine tip glue. For some reason you missed a little spot there. But you can add some sequins. It's super fun. Which again, someone seems to have hid from me. So we're going to add in a couple of these. Share what you love. These will be cute anyway. We'll put a couple of these all over. Oh. Just add in just a couple like additional confetti pop colors. Put one more over here. One more purple one. But you could add some confetti to these. Not confetti. Why do I keep calling it confetti? I'm going to switch this. This one I don't like. I'm going to move this one over here. There we go. And this one over here instead. Some sequins. That's what I'm trying to get at. So these are the faceted dots, the Share What You Love faceted dots. You could add some of those, but you could certainly add some sequins to make it really cute. And then all you have to do is just add your inside panel. So you could continue the theme here, and what you could do is you could add your little frames, or you could add your little lines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little square frame, and I'm going to do the little rectangle as well. So I have the square and I have a rectangle, and I'm going to put these with two. And I think I'm definitely going to do a purple, just since it is, that way it'll tie it together. So I'll do a gorgeous grape. And what you could do with these two is you can even stamp them off once first if you'd like. Let's have a little piece of scrap here. You could stamp them off. You could stamp this one in full ink. I'm going to put something underneath here. Just like that. And then you can even add in another color, which would be really fun as well. Where is my chamois? Let me wipe these off. And then I'm going to add in the mango, because that is such a fun color. And then what I'll do is I'm going to just put this across over here. I think he's kind of coming in from the side. And then with this one down here, we'll make him a diamond. So really fun, and that way you still have room to add your greeting in there. But fun card. And all you're going to do is just put this on the inside with a little bit of snail, or if you were able to manage to get some of that fast fuse, you could put some fast fuse. That way you still have room to add your greeting. Kind of ties the front into the inside. How adorable is that? So thank you so much, Kelly, for this wonderful inspiration for this card. Super cute. But again, you could also have swapped out, if you wanted to, that gorgeous grape will look really fun on there as well. But basically, great way to be able to save paper. If you're doing multiple layers, cut your die cut out of the second piece underneath. That way you have one extra piece of paper that you use for two different things. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will put full details of the measurements and everything for this card on my blog. That is rachthestamper.com. Have a great day.